I think as the credits are running, we're like kind of doing our review right now. It's that was a really good story mode. Like I really want to see the alternate ending because I believe there's more than one. I really think it's like
Connie.
I don't think the pathway at the start, like where you play as, you know, Liu Kang or Kung Lao or
I don't think that makes a difference.
I think that's just some extra shit you can see.
Yeah, I don't think that makes a difference.
But I mean, maybe there's like a pathway thing in the end. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But I think that there's definitely an alternate ending in the end if you lose a round against Kronika.
That's it really seemed like
it. Seemed like it. Yeah, because you go to a different area and
that's the only thing I want to explore right now.
I'd say overall, I thought it was really good. I did hear that some people would be like upset by the ending, and I think it's because of this.
Yeah.
That they're essentially resetting, if not ending, the current age Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And I think they might be giving Mortal Kombat a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
And that also ties in, this actually ties into our theory that we had, that they're going to support this game a lot longer.
Yeah.
That they're actually going to have MK11 be a thing that they're going to add more characters and probably bring back a lot of old characters and do DLC for a bit longer than just about a year, which is when all the other MKs sort of die. And I think that's good. I think that gives a chance for MK to like grow into Super Mortal Kombat 11, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 11.
You know what that means though is that Melina has an extremely high chance.
Absolutely, and that's the idea. Everyone has a high chance of coming back, and that's cool. I think
the whole point of this was just to sort of like close the loop.
And that's what we were saying. It's like there's too many like weird open-ended loops in MK lore at this point that have kind of like led to other places and then stopped. And Shinnok's dead, and now he's alive, and then they bring him back, but they have his amulet, and it's like, okay, all right, there's a bit too much shit going on.
You know what? When Kronika was introduced, I didn't like her, but now towards the end,
she was cool.
I think she was good. I think she was a really good.
She actually ended up being like an interesting, like
integral in the entire.
She was basically the architect.
She was the architect. She was the architect of Mortal Kombat. Of like the Elder Gods and Mortal Kombat, and now that she's gone, it is all gone.
And you know what? You know what I liked about it? It give you what it didn't get in the Matrix. The architect, Neo meeting the architect, and he's like, "All right, see you later."
It really didn't mean much by the third movie.
I know, but like you get that fight, which is cool.
But it was very similar to the architect.
I think the issue that I've always had with these fucking like quote unquote bad guys, you know, Shinnok and the Dragon King, is that they're forced into the story, and they
they feel like they're forced.
They don't really.
Kronika felt like she was actually
really
belonged.
part of it. Like,
that was
the entire.
She's
story,
actually a good
time.
call. Like, and I don't think like combat wise she's that cool. She's just fast and fucking crazy. But in terms of her character and lore, it does make sense that she is there to provide balance the entire time, and that is the whole point of Mortal Kombat and the point of war. The point of the War of the Realms, and that's why she's doing it and making it be that way, because there always has to be this conflict.
I didn't like the idea. Once again, let's be honest, they're probably just making this shit up as they go along.
Oh, absolutely.
But I didn't like the idea of her being more powerful than the other gods at random.
Well, she was essentially the like. She was the mother of an elder god. She was the mother of probably several other gods.
Yeah, so it's like, did she birth the other ones as well?
No, she didn't.
Like,
probably not.
She just set that
she's always set that shit into motion. She's like the reason the elder gods exist.
In like Greek mythology, Kronos was like the first god or like the highest
god of time.
And he was a god of time. So it's like I think they're just going with the fact that it's like
she is like Cronus. Right.
The start of all.
She's the start of it all.
The first ones were the Titans, and then the gods came.
Well, I mean, shit. You literally fight at the beginning of time.
She was the original god or original Titan.
That's whatever. Mythology?
Yeah.
Kronos was the start of everything.
Oh, you literally go to the start of time, as a stage.
Yeah, as a stage.
So it's like there's nothing before that.
I wonder if that stage will be selectable.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think that stage.
It looked like we unlocked it when we beat it.
And there's
two little symbols.
There's a couple of stages that are locked when you're in practice mode.
But overall, the story was great. It had a lot of emotion.
It had a lot of emotion. It was good.
And like you said before, I could see people like, oh man, what happened to this? What happened to that? But man, it's just
I could definitely see people being upset. Like, why this happened? Why that happened? Or people being upset that it's like, is this the end of Mortal Kombat?
I think the only thing that would probably make you kind of like upset about the ending is the fact that you got so enthralled with these characters. They really started to really grow on you.
You've been looking at them for almost like 14, 15 fucking games.
And then at the end of it, you realize that they're all gone.
Well, here's the thing. What happened to the ending? Oh, you know what? Everything's back to normal and everything is good.
Pretty much.
Would that be a fun ending? Would that be a satisfying ending?
And that's the idea is that we don't actually know at the moment how that goes. We don't actually know, like, in our current time frame, like, what they will do with the future, because literally the way they set up the characters is that we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, they can do what they want. I think that's what they wanted.
And there you go. That was the story. So I'd say overall, Steve, did you like it more than Injustice 2's?
What, story?
Yeah.
10 times.
I thought
10 times over. Oh my god.
I think it was actually better than Injustice 2 story. Injustice 2 story was really good.
I like this out of all of NetherRealm's stories, and they have really good stories. This is the best one.
And do you think it's better than MK9?
Yes. Oh!
MK9's a lot of fan service, man.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of fan service here, but it doesn't go out as long.
Just the way that they gave me closure. I think that's why I like it.
It finally gave closure.
It's giving me closure.
MKX didn't really give a lot of closure.
With MK9, it probably still to this day has the best storyline, but it ended with whatever.
Unless there's a secret ending. Yeah, you notice how there was no like gimmick thing at the end of MK9 where it's like Shinnok's back.
Yeah.
There's no gimmick thing at the end of MK10.
Exactly.
Evil Raiden.
Yeah.
It is actually like the end. Like, unless we're missing something right now.
Yeah, we could be missing something, guys. So yeah, don't be in the comments like what because
so there is no hint at the story continuing, which is actually. Which is actually kind of interesting.
I don't think
there should be because they basically clean the slate. Like, don't tease anything else.
Yeah.
The minute you tease something else, you're locking yourself into that.
I agree. I completely agree.
And like the thing is too, we got our ending. We got to see what happened between Liu Kang and Raiden. We got to see that fixed. And we got to see this is what's been going on.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. This is what is destroying us. And we basically got the ending in the story by learning that.
And they still set up a lot of interesting shit with like, Cyber Lin Kuei and all that stuff kind of coming back, and then
doesn't even matter.
That's the idea, is that none of it eventually matters.
Yeah.
None of it eventually matters because in the construction of time, nothing matters. If everything can be changed, then that's the whole point.
Yeah.
But I did really dig the aspect where it's an eternal struggle that Chronica has essentially been doing the entire time to get Raiden to fight Liu Kang. And then to eventually, I think she wanted Liu Kang to win. I think that was the whole point, is that she wanted Liu Kang to beat Raiden, to end Raiden. And then she would use that timeline, but Raiden always won. Raiden was always the one that sort of crippled Liu Kang in every timeline.
And I think, she wanted like the Shao Kahn thing, like to be that ending or something like that. But yeah, Raiden was always...
Nah, she didn't care about Shao Kahn. It was always between Liu Kang.
Yeah, it was always tools to get that to happen.
Tools, the Shao Kahn winning the tournament and all this other bullshit. That was all
the champion of Earthrealm fighting the defender of Earthrealm.
No, they didn't really explain why it was important for Liu Kang to win or something like that or anything like that.
Because when Raiden wins, he fucking kills Shinnok. That's her son.
There you go.
Yeah.
Every time Raiden wins, he kills her son.
So essentially, the only person that has the potential of taking out Raiden is Liu Kang.
Yeah.
So she's essentially trying to set up any timeline where Liu Kang has enough power to take out Raiden.
Right.
But it always doesn't work. So
that's why they say
that's why Raiden's like, okay, this is bullshit. We're not doing this anymore. Take my fucking power. And go get her.
Like, she learns every single time.
Yeah.
Now the question I would have is, how is she going to create a new timeline without Raiden existing? Because that was her thing. I'm gonna reset things, and you're not gonna exist because she didn't.
Yeah. So it seems like ceasing a god to exist is like the hardest thing to do. Yeah. That's what they. That's the impression.
That was part of getting rid of the Elder Gods and stuff like that. Was like she was trying to basically set.
I think I understand. Is that when she is creating a timeline that she just wants the perfect balance, chaos versus good consistently, or evil versus good consistently.
Well, Raiden's
steeping it towards Raiden is like tilting it towards good.
Once she gets rid of Raiden, she can have that type of timeline where her son and her daughter live forever.
Raiden's an Elder God, so he's kind of technically immortal.
He's a demigod.
Either way, she can't get rid.
She can't get rid of him unless.
Yeah, so it's like this constant thing of like, every time he wins, he upsets her balance.
Her balance, right?
So it's like she wants to find a way to get it so that Raiden is out of the picture.
Yeah.
That's a dope costume. But yeah, that's. I kind of thought that. I thought that was.
Once again, what was our thing? A villain that doesn't see themselves as a villain who.
Every great villain. Every great villain that
sees themselves as a hero.
Sees themselves as a hero.
Yes.
Story.
I think that's perfect. I think that's good. Because I didn't like Shinnok. Shinnok was, I'm evil and I'm going to do evil things.
I think it's fine.
It was fucking dumb. It's like Jesus.
Fun evil. But Shinnok was just always just lame. He's just like.
He was never a good
evil monk.
You know what's
evil
funny
priest,
is that Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn were evil just to be evil, but they're good at it.
Yeah. And I kind of loved how they how they actually set up Shang Tsung to be like a sort of a puppet in a situation of Veronica, because he was harboring all the souls and she needed the energy of the souls to actually make the. I'm like, okay,
she had no idea.
This shit is all kind of tying together pretty well. Like I think it's definitely gonna. I think the ending is going to upset some people because they are essentially saying this is the end of Mortal Kombat in many ways.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that kind of opens them up to not being tied down to all this weird shit.
I'm okay with a completely different timeline, having Scorpion and Sub-Zero, but not necessarily having Liu Kang or Kung Lao. Maybe not Sindel and all these other characters. They can just create their whole new cast, but keep some of the characters in there, and Street Fighter 3 have a whole totally new timeline with totally different characters. I think it'll be fine.
It's whether or not you like a reset where you can do whatever you want, or if you one of the people who just I want to move forward. Some people just they
want the characters to get older.
People don't like the reboot idea necessarily because everyone's sick of reboots, but it's like I get
because
it.
Third Strike didn't really.
Or no, not Third Strike with
it's
Street Fighter 3.
It's a little different for this one because now it's not necessarily saying like, hey, we're just gonna reboot the next game. It's like we can kind of do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
Like it's not saying it's not. I think they were trying. I feel like the ending was trying to say like, it's not going to just be here. We're gonna remake Mortal Kombat 1 for the next game.
No,
like,
it's not going to be going back to Shang Tsung's island again. The fact they can be whatever they want. It could start over and Scorpion's a girl or just some completely other characters sort of like you were saying, Street Fighter 3 New Generation, where you have Ken and Ryu, but a bunch of weird assholes.
Like the other ones. Yeah. It's No Guile, we have Remy.
Yeah. Or that's the thing, is that you have characters that sort of like, you can do whatever you want.
There will be people who just like, I wish the movie, I wish the series would have like continued on.
Right, I understand.
From the older point, the older characters in X and the older characters at the end of 11.
That's crazy.
But
yeah, I understand why
But I mean, like, here's the thing: with Mortal Kombat 12, they could go to a point in time that's technically later than this took place, right?
Yeah.
You could go to like super old timeline.
Yeah.
You could go like.
You can go anywhere. And then they essentially wrote in their creative freedom.
Yeah.
Where they can do whatever the hell they want. And I'm kind of okay with that.
I'm definitely okay with that because it is like it's open. It's an open book.
It's now an open book.
And it doesn't have to go.
It doesn't mean Mortal Kombat is over. It could mean that, but it could mean anything.
Yeah.
It could mean that they're going to take the old characters and just age them some more and just keep everyone alive.
I think it's a nice thing because it's like if they left it on a cliffhanger and then another realm say went on to do something,
and then
else.
Scorpion's dead and Sonya's dead.
Well,
and it's like
I personally believe that is like fucking 5% chance that's going to happen, where they're going to continue the storyline and have the characters be older and stuff like that.
I really think
they could. That's what I'm saying. That's why
I think it's a small chance because the characters are already really old.
Yeah,
like
the characters have gotten
characters are already really old.
Jax
You thought
is
they were
the oldest one.
You thought they were older in MKX.
Yeah.
Like they're like 50 years old now in some situations.
2 years
because Kano's like 50 and still a tank.
They said it was 2 years after X.
So they kind of aged the characters. I think as far as you can age fighting game characters,
as far as you
like you don't want to see. I don't think anyone wants to see Scorpion with like a long ass beard. Like that's
someone does.
There's an eventuality, and it's the same thing that happened in Street Fighter, where the characters aged to a certain point, and then they had to de-age them in some ways.
Well, this is the thing, is that this was the reason why they introduced the B Squad. They introduced the B Squad because they were trying to
harbor a new generation.
But it didn't take. Nobody liked the B Squad, so they said, you know what? Let's just scrap the whole thing, and we can introduce a new B Squad, a C Squad in their own entire. Wow, what the fuck?
That's our intro.
That's cool. Yeah, they can harbor their own thing with that. So
here's another thing I like. Where here's my crazy Kenny theory for the next Mortal Kombat. Maybe it's timelines, and it goes through all different timelines of the new Mortal Kombat the new history that's going to happen. Yeah, because like we've been tied to this one tournament for this entire
pretty much MK1 tournament.
Yeah, MK1 tournament. And my initial thing when I was thinking time travel, I thought we would go back to the very first Earthrealm tournament.
Yeah,
where we see the Great Kung Lao. Not really.
We
went back to like where but we didn't
great.
see
You mean Great Kung Lao?
The Great Kung Lao fight
there.
Goro for the first time.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And to see a younger.
Because that's actually never been seen before.
That's never been seen. So that was my thing. That was my whole thing. Like, I think they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna give us that. So that's why I was saying time travel. So maybe this next Mortal Kombat is like it's gonna be timelines, and you're gonna go through.
And that would be
all
really
these
cool.
tournaments,
Yeah,
right?
Because even back then, doesn't Scorpion and Sub-Zero technically exist in that time frame?
exist,
Not in
but
original Kombat.
not in original.
But like the Lin Kuei,
The Lin Kuei.
and, and the Shirai Ryu.
The whole thing that gave me that thing to like, if you go back to Raiden's temple, there's a Grand Master there with the Lin Kuei symbol, and there's this other girl that's blind who looks like Kenshi, and I'm like, yeah, man, like these are previous combatants, like these characters, like have existed. There was even like a guy who might have been Johnny Cage's or Sonya's
father,
ancestor, or something like that. So I'm like,
they didn't mention that in the story. They didn't mention. They talked about their parents. They talked about their parents for a little bit. So that was actually kind of interesting.
Which character's parents?
Sonya. Sonya was talking about her
grandfather.
Yeah, she mentioned her dad. Yeah, she mentioned her dad. It was
That's right.
Yeah.
Johnny said.
But that was my initial thing, and maybe eventually this next one we can go through multiple tournaments and stuff like that, and that's how the story. And that's just my crazy thing.
I think the idea is that they didn't want it to be a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
They want to do something new. Yeah. Probably they want to do something else with their next game or next couple games. And they didn't want people to be bitching about, like, when are you going to end this cliffhanger? When are you going to end this cliffhanger?
Exactly. And I don't think they want to be tied to, like, is everyone going to be expecting the next game to just be a continuation of this? I think they actually want this to last a little bit longer. It feels like they kind of want this one to last a little bit longer, which would kind of make sense why the roster is a little weird at the start. It's kind of a weird roster to begin things. And we still don't know any DLC characters except Shang Tsung.
Yeah, it feels like people are missing, you know what I mean? When you look at the roster, you're like, oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd like to see Rain. Like Rain would have been awesome.
Either way, I think I think a lot of the story was really satisfying. I think in the middle it was a little dull.
Yeah, it's kind of slowed down.
It kind of slowed down a bit in the middle, like right after the Lin Kuei stuff.
Yeah.
And the part where like the Kano versus Kano and Kano gets his nut punched and everything. Yeah. There's a middle area where it's slows down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it starts kicking in real hard when they're taking the boats over to Kronika Island.
No, for sure, yeah.
But I still think I would probably give it like a 9 out of 10. I think it was a really good story.
It was great. Well, there was a lot of like moments of like heartfelt moments.
Yeah,
and
there's
stuff
a lot of
like
really.
That. And that was because of the great facial system that they used.
Yeah.
So you
there's some good performances.
Yeah. You get like those feelings you like when you watch a good movie. You're like, damn.
I'm gonna be that
you
asshole.
Get feels.
I'm just gonna say Rhonda was probably the weakest voice actor.
Yeah, she was okay.
Voice acting.
At the start, she seemed to be doing a great job.
But then after a while,
towards the end, she seemed like she was just.
It's okay.
Down.
I don't think she's terrible, but
she wasn't terrible.
No,
she wasn't.
It seemed like
it was obvious she's not a voice actress.
A very level.
She's not an voice.
Yeah,
she was like
monotone. She's very monotone.
Not like it was a monotone, but it didn't have like a high arc, or it was just kind of like a line.
It was weird because like the old Sonya was actually pretty good. But like when she was just voicing young Sonya, I was like, yeah, you can tell she's kind of not a voice actress.
Yeah. Either way,
I think that's what they were going for with her original design. Anyway, is that she was older, and when everybody complained about how she's not cute anymore, they made her a little bit more beautiful. But she's like 50.
But that's the idea. Like the whole gimmick of the game is that the characters have their old versions and their new versions. And that gimmick carries over into gameplay as well because you get to choose all those characters. But I think it's funny how we called it, how it's like we were literally looking at Sub-Zero and Scorpion kind of talking to each other. And I was like, God damn, these characters have been through a lot together. And now they're like friends. And it's like, whoa, it's cool. And it's a good way to like end the whole thing.
So, and I totally agree. And like, what would you say the highlights for this story mode would be for you?
I think seeing my favorite moments were seeing the Shaolin monks to see Liu Kang and Kung Lao and their younger selves going about doing cool shit together. I think them going through the temple and all that stuff was really neat. And I think Scorpion and Sub-Zero and their moments together were really cool.
The highlight for me was definitely the merging of Raiden and Liu.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
That was a very.
That was a really. I did not see it coming. I was like, holy shit! What the fuck?
Definitely, I think highlights were just seeing all the timelines and all like, oh, dude, like.
Yeah, that moment was great.
That moment was great. He's just. And
when he realized
whatever they do, they can't escape this.
And another thing is my highlight is Raiden's progression in the story.
Yeah, dude. So they were fucking with us, and they were fucking with us, and suddenly we thought Raiden was like going to be a bad guy. I'm like, what are they doing with this character? And then he actually gives it up, and he actually gives up all of his power in the end, and he beats this as a normal guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this is good.
A much better way to do that than the Mortal Kombat 2 movie. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. I've forgotten.
I actually thought that they were going to continue how the evil Raiden, the one from MKX, was going to find a way to get back to his original self.
Yeah.
But instead they just wrote him off and then started with the good Raiden. And then he slowly became evil and then they brought him back to life.
That's right.
But I thought they were just going to focus on the evil one and then have him bring back. That's what I thought. But they said, you know what, just wipe him out.
Yeah, I'm a little torn because it's like, I liked the environment moments of the Jackie Jacks arc where they went to the old. I like
that was a good.
Not so much maybe the story part there. That's kind of cool. It was cool enough, but like
getting the crown. You mean
the whole getting the crown part? I thought was really cool and creepy, and I actually really liked it.
Me too.
They gave her moment.
Character moment. And Steve's gonna hate me for this. I actually really liked the way Kotal and Jade was.
Yeah, Kotal and Jade stuff.
I was like, you know what? This is kind of like interesting.
It felt forced. B, it didn't go anywhere.
I liked it because like he got broken, and then she's like, no, you know what? Like you would still accept me even though I'm weakened. She's like,
yeah, sure.
I was like, you know what? I kind of like the way these two characters play off each other. Like,
it really wasn't. I mean, if anything, the love story between Liu Kang and Kitana was actually more convincing than that one because they've been through so much together.
There was hardly there. It was implied through the other.
They've been together since fucking. They've had a long.
Steve, they're fucking with you.
No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm being honest here. I'm being honest.
But they are fucking with you.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
I know when they troll.
I'm not trolling at all.
Please,
I actually really like it.
Little trolls over here.
But the thing is, the point is that they stuck all that shit in.
Yeah.
They gave every character their little kind of moment. And I'm gonna hug Kitana. We're pretty cool together. Now we will be gods and we will construct the universe and fuck whatever we want.
Yeah, I was not expecting a romance between Kotal and Jade. I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of cute.
Simmons, please.
I thought it was.
Okay, we get it.
That was cute.
Now,
I'm not even trolling. I'm seriously not trolling about this.
Now, one thing I am disappointed in is the fact that they didn't tie in anything from some of the characters in Armageddon, Deception, and
Havoc.
Yeah, there's definitely like, where the fuck are these?
Forgotten.
Havoc.
So you know what? They're essentially they're
just gone.
Pretty much as forgotten as like the timeline getting resetting when Raiden.
Exactly.
They're kind of gone from that.
So if you really think about it, it was just one of Cronika's timelines.
Well, that's kind of like the thing about this story is that. Yes, like everything is an element of Kronika to sort of get things back to the way they were.
Right.
But every timeline always converges on the same shit. They always end up fighting, and Raiden ends up winning. So I think it's smart because they're in a goddamn loop. Like I was like, oh, they're gonna reset time and they're just gonna get rid of the Revenants and we're gonna be back. But no, they didn't even do that. They said everything's done.
If you really think about it, the timeline at the end of Armageddon wasn't between Liu Kang and Raiden. It was between Shao Kahn and Raiden. And Shao Kahn won that timeline. He actually took out Raiden. And then he reset time.
He did, but
Raiden, but that's the
thing.
Wrench.
Well, that's the thing. Raiden was still the monkey wrench because he had the power to do that shit. He was still able to keep himself alive through time.
And
that's why she's like, this guy.
Fuck, this guy,
I got him.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
That's like the story kind of covers its ass. It probably doesn't if you really think about it.
Yeah,
but on a surface level, it kind of makes sense. The events in Armageddon. It kind of makes sense. The events of everything else. It kind of makes sense. And they overall they arc it with like the Liu Kang and Raiden fight.
Who the fuck else was waiting in that fucking flashback to see an MK versus DC nod? They could do it. There's nothing legally stopping them. I was so waiting for like a weird like dark.
That was one of her timelines. That was fucking terrible.
That'd have been really cool.
I was sitting there waiting. Like, are we gonna see like a dark side or
if it was like Darkseid just in a throne watching them fight? That'd have been badass. That'd have been badass.
I was sitting there waiting for that.
It's just a random timeline.
Yeah, they could have done it.
It's a random timeline she invented.
That'd have been badass.
I was waiting for that shout out, but it didn't happen.
See, and like for me, because like talking about the 3D era characters, I would have liked to seen Havoc in this mode.
I think some of them can still make it.
I think
some of them.
but like in the story, like Havoc his whole thing is chaos.
Yeah,
and he's like, yo, man, I'm.
But that's what it is. He is Kronika. If you really think about it, he was.
But he has with no power.
No, I'm saying his whole motivation was hers.
Yeah. That's just chaos.
Yeah, it's just
it's the opposite end.
Well, she wanted balance.
Yeah, it's actually balance. Yeah, it's not chaos. She wanted chaos.
Well, she's balanced because she has and her children are chaos and
it's just evil. It's evil and good.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Like that's why she's so top tier. So she controls everything. Like that's. It's smart. Like they thought a lot about this. Okay, the developers want some. We need to get rid of all this shit. There's just too much stuff that's been sitting out. Too much Lin Kuei and these guys, and we don't want to get rid of that.
Whether they do it with DLC for this game or even the next game, like the next game can literally just be like
all new characters.
Well, it could just literally be it could be a whole different type of game. They could start and be like, hey, this is the Fire God timeline.
Yeah.
And you're just, all the stages, all the characters are just whatever the fuck they want. Like, they could even start it out small, like let's say Next Gen comes out, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we're going to start small, we're going to have a smaller roster, but it's going to be a really cheap buy-in to start the game.
Yeah.
And so what's the story? Don't worry about it. It's Fire God's timeline, and we're just going to put stages from everywhere.
Like
and we'll just keep throwing characters
the best of.
They could get rid of the realms too. They
can do whatever they want, and that's the thing with this ending, and that's why it'll kind of piss some people off because it has no conflict. It's like a super happy ending in many ways because it sort of like says anything can be, and they're going to make the choice.
Yeah, it's a happy ending for the developers, not for the people who are nostalgic about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, if you want to eventually see if Sub-Zero or Scorpion who is going to kill who, then you're not going to be happy.
No, you're not.
But the thing is, even Katana said there's going to be new enemies, there's going to be new threats.
Yeah, because people make their own. But that's just them writing in
their own shit.
Anyone with free will definitely at some point make a fucking bad choice.
Yeah, and that's the idea.
And she said let them have their choices.
Yeah, and that's the idea is that they're essentially writing in the fact that anything can happen. They can write it in any way.
I would love to see the timeline where, like, let's say Fujin in this new realm goes to see the Elder Gods, and it's just Liu Kang and Katana, and they're just like,
well, that's the idea.
And they're just
so
like,
they don't have to deal with the Elder Gods anymore.
Yeah,
and even Raiden says like, I hope to see you again because this isn't goodbye. Like they're gonna run into each other again most likely.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool to think that like most of the events are gonna still happen, but you don't know.
Let's be honest, it is kind of heartbreaking to see it end.
I think it's kind of like the best way it could have. Liu Kang's redemption arc finally happens. He's not a fucking zombie anymore.
There it is. It does.
He's always been the champion, and he never has gotten like his payoff in many ways, and now he finally gets his payoff.
I think there's value in having finality to something.
Yes,
sure.
That's why I kind of like. At first, I was like a little like sad.
Yeah, I was sad.
I was kind of sad. I was like, wow, this is like the end of Mortal Kombat. But then you think about it, and it's like, no, it is the end. Like this means that they can do that. There can be anything beyond this, and that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, because if you really think about it, the story between, let's say, Jackie Briggs and Jax, it can't go any farther. You know what I mean? Like they and the same thing with Sonya.
What is Jax just gonna retire and Jackie's gonna get older? Yeah. Like it's gonna be the same thing.
The same thing with Sonya, Johnny, and Cassie. They're family. You know what I mean? Like they might have lost the older Sonya, but at the same time, so like they're still gonna go back to the past, and they're gonna have Cassie, and they're gonna get older.
I think one of the big criticisms a lot of people are gonna have is that it definitely takes priority of the story of Raiden, and takes priority of the story of Katana, and takes priority of the story of Liu Kang.
Yeah.
And a little bit of Scorpion.
Well, here's the thing.
And Sub-Zero.
I like that because it circles back, because it was losing the focus of Liu Kang.
Yeah.
And it was becoming about Johnny and Cassie and all that stuff. And it brings it back, and what I like most about it makes Raiden right.
Yeah.
For a
Raiden
long
was
time,
right the whole time.
You started even doubting Raiden
Raiden's
as well.
An idiot.
Just like, Raiden's an idiot. Like with how Kung Lao, you were doubting it. And then it turns it full circle and gives Liu Kang the end. And you know what? Instead of becoming, now, like they said he was an Earthrealm god, but now he's he's the creator of time. He's the creator now. Yeah. And I think that is great. I think it really, because you doubted Raiden after the last.
You doubt him in MKX. You really doubt him in MK9.
Redemption, and he grows, and he just.
The character had a story arc.
Well, that's the thing. Mortal Kombat isn't really the story of Liu Kang. It's Raiden's story.
Yeah.
And it's Raiden's story of becoming like a normal guy, turning into a god, and then getting a lot of power and not knowing what to do with it, and trying to figure out the right thing. But in the end, he always ends up getting the same conclusion and then making the right one and giving up his power.
I actually think that if they hadn't wiped out the older Raiden, the evil Raiden, and kept him there, I think he could have found an arc regardless. Because You gotta understand is that the earlier Raiden only realized his folly when he understood that this was happening all the time.
Yeah.
So if the evil Raiden realized that, he probably would have realized, oh, this is bad. I gotta change my ways. Anyway.
But he was essentially too far. Would he be too
I think
far
he was. I think he like.
But he didn't know about this.
Yeah, I think he was like the Raiden that we know at the start. Dark Raiden is essentially too deep.
Far,
too deep up the amulet's ass.
Yeah. That's what they're hinting to. But I just me.
Like he would not. He would never have been able to get that vision, and that's why like he doesn't even have red lightning yet. He's still like a normal guy.
He doesn't have clarity of mind.
Yeah, clarity of mind.
I'm excited to see this alternate ending if there is one from
Yeah. So that's the thing is that I'm gonna find out how to get it. I think that's the thing. We're gonna figure out how to acquire it.
I'm guessing.
And see what the alternate ending is. Because I'm pretty sure what we saw is canon.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like this one is what actually happens because at the end of MKX it's just one ending. And at the end of Injustice 2, there is
2.
Is there 3 or 2?
I believe 2.
I think there's 2. Yeah.
Injustice 2?
Essentially, the evil Superman ending and the good Batman ending.
I don't fucking remember what happened.
Yeah, neither do I. Right? Like
pretty much Superman enslaves Batman.
Yeah.
And then. Right?
He enslaves Batman. He puts the Brainiac thing on him. He can't escape.
Yeah.
And then the good one, I think Superman is dead, and he's like, he goes with Supergirl, and he's like, now this is your time.
That's the good ending.
Or something like that.
Yeah, where he pretty much tells, like, he throws Superman into the interdimensional...
The
Phantom Zone. And Supergirl's the new Superman, essentially.
There you go.
And that's like the canon ending.
Yeah.
Superwoman, Max, 2019.
It was well done, but like I was kind of a little bummed when I found out Injustice 2 was all in the shitty universe.
Yes, it all takes place in the one that Joker blew up or Superman.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait, it's all.
And that's the point.
It's
all just shitty universe. Oh,
yeah, like all the characters are from the shitty universe. It is Injustice. Like, it is what it is. So I don't know. I think as we talked about it more, I kind of like it even more.
I like it even more. And then we discuss and we think about.
When you really think about it, I think it's actually a finality. It's actually a conclusion.
Yeah.
Like they wrote an ending to Mortal Kombat's story that literally started with Shang Tsung's Island.
Yeah.
And has continued all the way for like 11 games and multiple spin-offs.
All the throwbacks and everything.
All the throwbacks and a lot of the...
You gotta understand.
It's done.
You gotta understand. You gotta understand. Ed Boon has been, and not even just him, but the team has been working in this since the fucking 90s.
They've been doing this shit for 30 years, Fred.
Yeah.
It's getting real close to 30 years.
They need a break, dude. They need a break.
Yeah,
like it's time for them to either move on to something else or
great move to end it this way.
Yes,
I think so.
It was bold,
and I'm curious what the other ending's going to be like. I'm really curious how, and I'm really curious if we get to talk to the writers again, if we get to talk to Sean, to see what was like the intent. Was the intent to sort of like wrap things up? To see if that is, or if it's just like, no, we're gonna sort of reboot everything.
I honestly think I'm going out. Let's get outside of the realm of Mortal Kombat. Let's just look at these guys as fucking people.
Oh yeah.
You can't work on a project for so long.
Well, they've been doing it.
You know what I mean? Like at a certain point, it's like, I gotta.
Well, Injustice was kind of their thing to sort of break their mold.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And break their mold and like but
they're never gonna stop making Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah, I know. I think that's their cash cow.
Well, no, it's not even. It's a cash cow. It's a legacy now.
Yeah, it's a legacy.
It is a legacy. It is like Batman comics,
and also
it is like Marvel comics.
Well,
that is the Mortal Kombat world.
Just like with Batman, just like with the comics and on Marvel and stuff like that, you pass that stuff off.
And one thing,
new generation. Star Wars, it is like Star Wars.
To sort of ground this entire conversation and where MK is going and where it can go, to ground everything, Warner Brothers and their games division own Mortal Kombat, and it is a $1 billion franchise.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is worth a lot of money.
It is, yes.
And it is worth way more potentially than the Arkham games, than whatever Rocksteady is working on, because in the end, Ed said that MKX sold over like 10 million copies.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yes. High selling.
Pretty sure he's talking a lot with mobile.
And there could be a lot of inclusions, but all things considered, I think he's trying to say that the game's got a lot of clout.
Yeah,
it's brand awareness.
Yes. And it's brand awareness.
Is it the highest selling?
It is technically the highest selling fighting game outside of a Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, man.
Close to like even old Tekken 3 and shit. So all things considered, you don't stop. Oh no, we made enough money.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. There is not going to be an end to Mortal Kombat. This is going to continue. This game is probably going to get continual updates. Probably going to get title updates, which hasn't happened since fucking UMK3.
Yes.
That'll probably happen to this game. There might be like an ultimate MK11.
Yeah.
So all things considered, we're probably gonna be hanging around MK11 for a lot longer than the other NRS games.
Yeah.
But what they do after this is the big. Is it going to be Injustice 3?
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what?
Is it going to be another MK?
The more I think about it, the more excited it makes me.
Yeah.
It's a clean slate.
This is literally a clean slate.
It is a clean slate.
Kind of the same thing with the end of Injustice 2 as well. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to make an Injustice 3.
Yeah, at this point.
I don't know if that'll be happening in 2021 at this point, which is their usual. But I do think they're.
You just said it though. It's like this thing makes a lot of money. Why would they?
It's not going to stop.
But
the Mortal Kombat has to continue.
Yeah.
But will it be a thing that NetherRealm is going to continue?
Injustice, the same thing. Injustice sells very well for them, so they're like.
I'm assuming it does. These aren't things that you just stop it because we made enough money. So they're going to continue, but how are they going to continue?
Exactly.
You don't know
how they approach it.
Like, what's the approach to Injustice 3 going to be? If there is an Injustice 3, like, are they going to hand over Mortal Kombat to a different developer? Would they give it to a Japanese? Like, you don't fucking know at this point. Like, it could be anything.
Right?
NRS might want to do their own thing now. Do something completely
you
different.
Imagine, like, right? The timeline's rewritten. What if they give it to someone like Arc System and they make this?
That's literally what I'm thinking. Like, I'm going to be like, God
hey,
damn.
this is the new Mortal Kombat. This has been wiped, and now it's this.
This is the new Mortal Kombat.
And it looks
the
like
new timeline will be Mortal Kombat versus Capcom.
Well, I don't even think it has to be.
That's the new timeline.
Sure. It doesn't have to be singular. The new timeline. It can be any timelines. Like you can have many timelines. Like Liu Kang's just an observer.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
he's watching everything. Yeah.
Because he can also reset time at his own will. So you can just have multiverses now of MK.
And here's the ultimate thing: you can always write in a story.
Yeah.
You can always write in a history. Yeah. You can always write in a reason. You can always write in a future.
Yeah.
So that's what they did with this, and that's what they can do in the next one. They could literally, in the next game, Chronica woke the fuck up. Sure, crystal shit came together, and she's like, no, I have to put it back together. We're back, and we're young.
Yeah.
Everyone would be fucking hyped.
We don't know.
Everyone would be hyped still. Like, everyone would be super fucking
happy. That's true.
There's always a way to write something in, and that's all they did. They gave a reason to start a clean slate. Or not. We don't know. Yeah. And that's kind of exciting, is that everyone, for the future of MK, we have no fucking clue.
Really
that's kind of cool.
You really think about it, Shinnok's amulet wasn't destroyed. Shinnok's, it actually
wasn't. He put it down.
He put it down, but he didn't destroy it.
And here's another thing, too. Like, at the end of MKX, we kind of knew what was going on.
Oh, we knew, yeah.
Hey, look,
at the end of MKX, you're just like, okay, I can't wait to see the next game. Raiden's evil.
Yeah, Raiden's evil, Liu Kang's evil.
And Shinnok's ahead.
We can kind of guess what the next thing is.
And it was the same thing at the end of MK9. And to be completely frank, that shit was like 8 years ago now. Yeah. It was almost a decade ago that they set up that story. Yeah. So I could see why that it spread across 3 games. It spread across like 8 years of storytelling and setting up for MK games, and they probably just want to. We get to see what the hell happens next. I'm really curious to see in 2021 when we get trailers for their next game, most likely, because I wouldn't be surprised if they got to make a game every couple years. They're working on something right now. Yeah. I almost guarantee you they got to make a game every couple years.
It's the way the business works.
It's the way the business works. Like, and that's how a studio works. You just go like, okay, we're all going on break for 3 years.
It can't be like Ed Boon, like, hey guys, we made this game, let's go. Yeah. Like literally the literal ending in real life.
Literally, you get a company that makes a whole bunch of money off of games, and then the next game makes more money, and the next game makes more money, and the next game works more. You don't stop.
Yeah.
So they're going to be doing something.
It's the Activision
It's not the end of Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat will still be fucking Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But the idea is that in what form and how is it gonna be that way?
At least for them, like they closed off their saga.
Yes. The Liu Kang and Raiden saga is done.
It's almost, we haven't seen Star Wars yet, but like, like the trailer said, this is the end of the Skywalker saga.
And I'm like, please, God.
Good.
Please, God, please be true.
And they actually, and all things considered, they actually had a satisfying ending. Like
very satisfying.
There wasn't a complete
closure.
There wasn't a complete bow tie wrapped ending for every character.
Yeah.
And that's why some people will be upset with the things that happen with Johnny Cage and Sonya and Cassie and
the fucking Devorah got away again.
Yeah, Devorah just kind of
after Scorpion.
Right? Like they could have killed her at any point in time. Why not? Fuck it.
But the idea is that you don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to worry about it.
There's a little bit of dissatisfaction there because they kind of focus on their core character, like 4 or 5 core characters.
Because they were the main ones. Let's face it, when you go back to Mortal Kombat 1,
Liu Kang, Sub-Zero, Johnny Cage.
It was
Sub-Zero.
Mostly the hype. I mean, all of the story was about Liu Kang. The hype and the more of the focus, as far as popularity is concerned, is Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Yeah.
So they said, you know what? Let's focus on the characters that we started with. It's like them making Street Fighter 2 and focusing on the fact that the hero of the story is Guile. That's the hero of the story. But people will always look at Ryu and Ken as the main characters because of the popularity.
Sure.
So when you look at Mortal Kombat 1, that's the same thing. They focus on the two guys who are more popular, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and then they focus on the story of the character who was supposed to be the main one in the first place, which is Liu Kang.
Yeah, he's the champion.
So there you go.
The champion and his mentor.
And then they closed it off in the fashion that I honestly don't think could have been any better.
I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. I really can't think of
a better way they could have closed it out.
Yeah, they could. Yeah,
because it would have been a happy-go-lucky ending.
The only thing that you could have really improved was like we said with the Devora thing and some other characters.
Yeah.
Some other characters just kind of like fall off the game in the story.
They do.
They just got.
That's why
he got shot in the leg and like, oh, I got it.
It's not super unsatisfying, but it is the reason why it's not a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't have enough resources and like
they
story
could have killed
arcs.
a couple more people. Kano died. You know what? Kill Devora.
Not that it matters too much because
it doesn't matter.
But at the end,
some characters kind of just sort of have like
if they're to be honest,
okay.
To be honest, if they started killing off a bunch of characters, I would have seen it coming at that point.
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh, they're gonna reset this because they're killing way too many people.
So what did they kill in this story? They killed Sector. They killed Scorpion. They killed Kano.
Really,
Cyrax died.
They fucked. Yeah, Cyrax died.
Cyrax technically died.
They killed Frost, I think. They killed Frost.
No, I don't know if Frost technically dies.
Well, I mean, like, kind of. Raiden zaps her head and turns everything off.
Yeah, Raiden's got a nuke her face.
Technically, yes, they did kill Frost.
But they kill more characters.
They paralyzed Kotal.
Yeah, Kotal Khan has essentially been like
paraplegic now,
like pretty much wheelchair bound.
Yeah, he got crippled.
Yeah,
that was the whole point.
Maybe Raiden can fix him.
Break his back.
But the thing is, you would never know.
You never know
because that literally doesn't exist.
They killed Shao Kahn again.
You know what's funny? Kitana
Shao Kahn died again.
That was the most underwhelming death in this story. Was Shao Kahn's death? She just and then he's dead. And this was like the biggest antagonist since Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna go, and he's dead? I was like, really?
Yeah, you know, I kind of forgot that. How do you take it?
Yeah, he just got Katana hacked him up a bit.
Yeah, she just sliced him
ripped off his skull mask and then just.
Yeah.
Wow.
And which was a little underwhelming is the idea that he wasn't that intimidating in this one. I didn't feel like he was that intimidating. He felt like. Yeah, he lost a lot of that.
Well, that's because Shao Kahn is a more effective. Well, bosses are more effective bad guys when you know less about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know a lot about
and
Shao
now we
Kahn.
know a lot about Shao Kahn and his weaknesses, and he's just a fucking dragon dude.
The fact that, because Katana was able to take him down.
What made Shao Kahn intimidating was the fact that he laughed at you and said you sucked and you couldn't stop him.
Right.
That was like, Jesus Christ, this guy is so impressive. And that was the same thing that also made Bison more effective. And now when you know more about Bison now, and that I'm connected to Psycho Power and Rose controls my body, and it's like, okay, you're losing a bit of your...
When I found out about like Rose connection.
Yeah, you're losing a bit of your mysticism here, and you're kind of just like, okay, you have obvious weaknesses, and...
I don't need to know this.
Yeah, it's like
but that's just me.
But I think
I get what you're saying.
But yeah, Bison was way more effective of a bad guy when you knew less about him.
Street Fighter animated movie. Bison was more powerful than anything in that fucking movie.
Yeah, because you don't know a lot about him. He's just sucking the power out of him.
And he was just fucking fools up. He was probably the most powerful in that.
And he fights like so many people at the same time. It seems like he doesn't have any weakness until the very end when he dies.
But you know what's funny? Even at the end, he was like, he put himself to their level. You know what I mean? Like,
and to be honest, like Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat 9 I kind of felt the same way. He's like, I don't feel super threatened by him. Because he literally dies in MK9.
Oh,
he gets killed.
No.
And then he comes back. Like, he comes back from Ermac's magic halfway through the story.
Yeah.
He gets killed. And it's like, because, Kung Lao kills him.
Yeah, Kung Lao does kill him.
And it's like, but then he gets bullshit time twisted.
But which is funny because they're tying into the three stories. Yes. He's supposed to die at MK3.
Exactly.
That was, and I get it. That's the whole point.
But that's the thing is that, he's not intimidating. He's not as intimidating
I get what you're saying.
Because he's literally got moments where he's like, hobbling around. I gotta sit down. I just fucked up.
Yeah,
so
totally.
That's truth, man.
It was Quan Chi who resurrected him.
And Shinnok has never been really intimidating. Like, never. Like, he's always just kind of been there and evil and a shithead.
Yeah.
But, like, Corrupted Shinnok was kind of cool, but just like another big evil version.
Trash. Yeah. He was trash. Like,
the best thing about Shinnok ever was, like, his wind
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the big demon Shinnok, and he just throws you into the big laser beam. Like,
yeah.
He just chucks your body like, yeah.
I think we all dug it a lot.
I dug it a lot. I'm very satisfied.
I'm really curious to see what a lot of people are going to say. I am.
Yeah.
But I think once again, similar to the gameplay of MK11, it's going to be kind of divisive. Like there's so many people that are going to be really happy with it.
You're gonna see. I guarantee you right now, you're gonna see a lot of Liu Kangs. You're gonna see a lot of noob Cybots, and you're probably gonna see a lot of katanas. But that's just my prediction.
So yeah, we'll see what the hell the future holds for Mortal Kombat. Because right now we got no idea. Holy shit!